Hello, welcome to Monday Morning Matters live broadcast show brought to you by Magnicraft Consulting Team, anchored by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the U.S. Here, each Monday of every week, we address important, relevant, and actionable topics of interest that will help you and your church grow healthier. And now, meet your host, Niyi Dunmade. Hello.
Welcome. I think I am live direct all the way from the city of Abuja. Welcome. I welcome you to this month is the second to the last month of the year 2020. I want to welcome all of you to this live broadcast show. It promised to be very interesting. We're going to finish the year strong and then make sure that we get ourselves in the last final push to finish strong and well. I want to welcome you to this YouTube channel, to this Facebook live broadcast show. This month is going to be solid information. This live broadcast is live, and I want to also thank you for hooking up with us. Thank you for making sure you are part of this live broadcast show. This is a live broadcast show for church leaders, for churches who mean business for their church. Okay, my name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Niyi Dunmade is my name again. I'm the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Magnicraft Consulting is a church consulting firm that helps local churches to grow healthier through empirical assessment, trainings, and strategic blueprints. Okay, so we help churches to assess, and then we help them to make sure that they envision their future with trainings and strategic blueprints as a backup. Our vision is to be the leading church consultancy firm that creates sustainable and adaptable solutions for churches. And so I'm a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the US. Okay, and I'm also your host of this Monday morning Facebook live broadcast show that goes on every Monday morning, 7 a.m. Nigerian time. I'm also known as the church health guardian of the 21st century. And so we're going to go. A big thank you to everyone who is commenting, sharing our content. I did some testing. I didn't want to do WhatsApp broadcasts. And then I got some people who say, no, that WhatsApp broadcast gets us on our toes. So thank you for the comment. Thank you for telling us how timely our broadcast content is to you. Thank you for everyone sharing our content to their pastor, their church leaders. I'm so grateful for all the comments and the sharing. Growth leads to complexity in churches and in ministry. When you grow, it brings about complexity. It brings about complexity complexity. I see one of the things I'll say quickly is that God has made man simple, but we as human beings have sought for ourselves many inventions by making our lives more complicated. For example, in the issue of marriage, God made man and woman to get married. One man, one woman to get married. The Bible says a man shall leave his father and the mother and be cleaved to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So I don't know what, I mean, it's as simple as that. One wife, one husband becomes one flesh. But we human beings, we have complicated matters by saying one man, four wives, one husband, or one wife, five husbands. We complicate issues. And so when we begin to grow in knowledge, we're going to grow in abilities, we're going to grow in talent. Growth usually leads to complexity. And if it gets to complexity and you don't find a way of simplifying things, you're going to get stuck in a web of confusion and complexity. So one of the things I'll say quickly in an analogy, just to explain what I have to say with the life cycle on the screen. You see, when a church is born, the church is like a baby. You know what happens in human beings? Excuse me. Human beings, when a child is born, I remember when I had my first son, okay, all the hygiene were so top notch. We make sure he's going to take good milk, clean water. Those days he was born in a day. He can take his bath like 4 times a day, or minimum of 2 times a day, morning, evening, sometimes morning, afternoon, evening, sometimes 4 times a day, just to make sure he is healthy. You see, one of the things I'll say quickly is that the health mindset you have when you are a baby church is what you need to sustain yourself from every attack of any kind of sickness and disease. So you can imagine, my son is grown up today and he doesn't take his bath like 4 times a day. You can always want to force him to go freshen up, go take your bath in the bathroom. And so one of the things I want to also learn from that is that the healthy hygiene we cultivate when we're a small church, to make sure that we are taking everything serious. You can imagine the kind of attitude you had when a visitor came into your church, because your church is just 12 and one person came visiting. You can see that you value that one person, and that attitude, that mindset, that perspective must be such that when your church is growing, you must be health conscious and have that kind of mindset to make sure that you are on the left side of the curve, where you have mission, identity, vision, and structure. And so one of the things that when you are on the other side of the curve, where there's decline, distress, death, dropout, and all kinds of things on the other side of the curve, you have to get back to the fundamental principles of what happened, to fundamental principles and the things you carried out when you were a small church. And so you can begin to build up that growth into that this is. So the thing is, today's topic is such a very interesting topic. When church growth becomes a problem. When church growth becomes a problem. And so church growth can become a problem. Church growth can become a problem. Okay, I'm going to say quickly what happened in the early church. As a church consultant, I can tell you straight up that the early church is our standard. The descriptions of the early church is the prescriptions for today's church. But then we have to put it in perspective in terms of context and culture. And so what happened, what made the early church to make what today's church, okay? And so saying that, we need to look at the descriptive nature of the early church, and that's the framework I want you to understand. The framework is so easy for us to go by, because that is how God has designed it. The original design of the church is God's spirit integrated. It's God's blueprint. Okay, we have prayer, ministry, evangelism, discipleship, fellowship, and worship. And that's the spiritual side. I usually say that the church has a 3-dimensional perspective. Just like the human being has three-dimensional. You have the spirit, soul, and body. And so the church itself has a spiritual dimension. That's the top one, which I've just mentioned, and the soul dimension, which is the bottom side of the vision diagram, which is strategy, structure, leaders, outreach, onboarding, and research. And by the way, if you want us to come assess your church to know where you are weak and strong, that will be a fantastic way for you to move your church from where it is right now to where it should be in God. And so one of the things I would say about the early church was they had a massive kind of growth back to back. 3,000 were added, 5,000 were added in a day. You know, the one crusade, multitudes will be added. You know, there was massive growth. Chapter 2 of Acts of Apostles, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. And they got to chapter 6, there was a problem. And so that should tell you that every local church will have some growth problems. And so what I would say quickly is that you need to understand the problem that comes with church growth. The problem that comes with church growth. I've just mentioned there's a spiritual side, there's the emotional side, and there's a physical side of the church. And as a church leader, as a general overseer, as a leader of the church, you need to understand your growth, your church growth pattern and trends. Okay, what are the things that makes your church to grow? Okay, one of the things I'll say quickly is that most pastors I've discussed with, they love their church to grow. And so I began to research and say, okay, what will make a church to grow? And I wrote a book on church retention. Okay, church retention. Okay, pathway to growth. Okay, once you are able to get your retention right, you're going to get church growth right. So that's the thing I would say quickly with my. I don't want to go so much on the book. Please get my book. People have been ordering for it in good numbers. So there's a difference between the kind of activities that happen in Act chapter 2 and in Act chapter 6. And the problem was there was growth, and when there was growth, there was a problem which was organizational. And the widows were complaining about not being taken care of in the daily administration of food. So what are the variable factors that affect church growth in the church? I'm going to just share my desktop screen shortly to show you something beautiful. Now, this is this one of my very good pastors in Church Answers, Pastor David Chapman, shared this spreadsheet. Very fantastic. If you can take a screenshot of this, that will be fine. Okay, I'm just going to wrap up this, and then we'll now go into the problem and how to address it. So what are the variable factors that affect church growth pattern? Okay, we have the front door, we have the invites per week, because your church cannot grow if you are not inviting guests, if you are not having converts. And then you have to look at the back door, or the attrition rate. Okay, invite per week, and then the attrition rate, the back door rate, and then all those things. Now you can see that if I want to double, okay, my desired growth, let's say it is 2,000, right? So what it means is that my new attendance will be 3,000. Okay, what it means is that if my current attendance is 1,000, the desired growth is I want to double to 2,000. That means that I want to add that is even more than double. I want to add 2,000 to my current attendance, and then I get my 3,000. What I'm trying to say is that if you want to hit up this target, your number of invites will be 12,813, and then that's because these variables are affecting. Okay, people, the invite per attendance rate is low. If I want to make this up to 80%, you can see how that is the number of invites is going to drop. That's for everybody who attends. The more they invite people, the more the number of attendees is going to drop. Okay, if I drop the retention rate to 30%, you can see that the number of invites is going to increase. What it means is that once you are going at a low retention rate, you need more visitors volume to come into your front door to be able to hit your target. So you can see percentage per inviter. Okay, the number of people who are inviting and the people who are coming to your church. If we're going to increase this to 70%, you can see that the activity in your front door will be healthier. And so attrition rate is also one area that we do not put factor on. So if attrition rate is increased back to 60%, you can see that the number of invites is going to grow up. Now, one of the things I'll say here is that one variable that is so key to your church growth momentum and effort is the number of invites. Every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year, what is the volume of visitors you can push to your front door? Not minding the retention rate, the percent of inviters, the invite per attendance rate, and the backdoor rate. And I can say that some of these variables are things that you are not putting your hands on to make sure that you are having a grip on your desired growth of 2,000 to get to 3,000. Now, one of the things I'm going to say quickly, this second box has to do with retention rate. Go to my Facebook page, you'll see, and get my book on church retention. You're going to see quite a lot of content on church retention. What it means is that if our retention rate is 30%, for my church to double, I will not be able to double to 30%. 250 will move to 380 in 35 weeks. Okay, in 35 weeks, and the guest volume I need is 360. If the church is moving at 70%, I can be able to double and then get at my church to move on to a point of double in 502 with just 36 weeks. You can see 30% retention rate. I want to double, but I need 840 guests. And then if I'm going to move at 70% for almost 2 years, I'm going to triple with the same visitors volume. And then 10%, I cannot double, but even with almost 2 years with 840, and then 10%, for me to double, I need about 2,000 guests within 4 years to be able to double. Now, I'm going to go deep on some of these things subsequently in the Monday to explain how all these variable factors are affecting your church growth and how you can be able to deal with the problem. Now, but the thing is, what we're going to deal with here is, and I want to wrap up here, is this: that my church is 100, okay, and I'm adding 100 every year. So let's say 2020, my church was 200. 2021, my church was 400. 2022, my church was 800. Okay, we are saying that if it can be in order to get healthy, your church must be willing to get messier. Okay, and see the match, and then we're going to explain how this is affected by discipleship and things like that. So if the conversion rate is 1-to-1, you have 100 for every year. You are adding 1-to-1. Okay, people are inviting their friends and they are adding to your church, and you can see in 3 years you are able to get to 800 from 100 by just adding 700 in 3 years. Okay, so that's a very big problem that every church needs to be able to embrace. Good problems can be embraced as a church to make sure that they are getting there to become healthier. I want to wrap it up here. See, when your front door is so active and you are able to work on your retention rate, you're able to work on your retention rate, and all these variable factors are mentioned. But next Monday we're going to go deeper into some of these things. But I just want to let you know the problem that once your church is growing very fast, there is a problem. It's getting messier because you are becoming healthier, and then you have a problem that you need to deal with. And we're going to look at some of these problems and how we are going to deal with them subsequently. Thank you. I want to just do some promo quickly on this page. Make sure you contact me. You want to become a certified church consultant. You have some years as a lead pastor. You want to be a certified church consultant to help your church and to help other churches. please feel free to contact me on any of the social media handles, and I'm sure I will be able to get you. And then please get my book on church retention, Pathway to Growth, or contact me on any of the social media handles. I'll be willing to get you that thing. So please, I want to wrap it up here. Please feel free to share this content to any of your colleagues, your church staff, your church leaders, your pastors, and then that will help us to help the video to go viral on the social media handles. Please, all the Facebook fans, all the Twitter fans, all the Instagram fans, the fans on my YouTube, please go on the social media handles to do something for us, and let's see how God will help. Please, we do my next year is already started booking up. I have 2 trainings in next year in Abuja already, and 1 in Calabar. Please, I only have 24 hours a day. I only have 52 weeks in a day. If you want us to come do trainings for you, reach out to us on the number of the screen. Let's see how we can give you excellent church consulting for health, vitality, and results. And let's see how we can come to move your church from where it is right now to where it should be. You have any church related questions for me, please reach out to us. Let's see how we can give you more than an answer. Okay, you have any church related questions, let us see how we can give you more than an answer. I assure you that you're going to get more than an answer. Just ask your questions, and your ignorance will be dealt with in no time. Please feel free to continue this conversation on Facebook, on YouTube. I'll be there to give you more tips and more information before we engage further. This is like an introductory to get further into next week, Monday, for a continuation. Thank you. God bless you. I love what you're doing, and I'm praying for you. And let us continue the conversation. Thank you. God bless you. Have a blessed week.